Recently, my YouTube videos have entered a kind of maximalist death spiral. As an example, the last video was about 25 minutes long, but it was cut down from 4 days of footage and it had a lot of micro edits in it. So it took Lindsay, Camilio, and me 10 days to edit. The Maximalist Death Spiral component is that it kind of sets a bar for how for what my internal expectations for the video are. Original music and micro compositions, and that can be a difficult production bar to establish. In other words, I don't know that I'm prepared to spend 10 days editing each video when I have prints and paintings and other things to do. Also, the fact is that there seems to be an inverse relationship between how much time goes into each edit and the viewership. So what I'm attempting to do is I'm attempting to do one video a day for 30 days, and these are going to be rough and ready, much more down and dirty, and just kind of show what's happening in the studio. I'm doing a lot of traveling in the next 30 days as well, so I don't know whether that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. This is yesterday. This is a recent edition of prints, and I am in the process of sending them out, stamping. I also have a very, very large painting that I'm working on, that I'll show you in a second. But so, one video a day for 30 days. That way I can't get into the maximalist death spiral. In minimalism, there was this idea of simplification and reduction. That can become a huge problem, right? With each successive move, there is increasing pressure to reduce and to simplify. That becomes this kind of spiral where you essentialize and remove. In a lot of ways, minimalism can become very dead because the ultimate move of minimalism is to remove everything. It's the logical conclusion of the project. Well, with maximalism, with increasingly Baroque work, complex work, there's another kind of death spiral, and I guess it goes this way. But what it becomes is it becomes this ever-increasing complexity to the work that on a production level takes increasing time. I fully believe in the idea that the artist has to have a kind of fluidity to their has to be producing constantly, has to have the work just simply flowing from them. So as an example, here we see this painting, this massive 37, well, large, I should say, not massive, this 37-foot long, this 37-foot long painting that I've been working on, for, I don't know, I started it, I guess, last year, 2 years ago, and it's basically on a roll. And yesterday, Henry and I collaborated and added this screen printed component. So, as an example, the idea here is to just simply edit the canvas and to block out anything that doesn't seem to work, and to work completely intuitively, and to let the composition completely develop on its own. It's not a radical idea at all, but I do want to point out that in a lot of ways it's the kind of opposite of this work here, which is happening at the same time in my studio. So the work that I'm showing here on the screen, this print, even though the relationships between these elements appear to be very fluid, each one of those decisions is scrutinized in a way, and this is the opposite. It's all worked out in advance, and it's highly technical. That's the opposite of this piece. This piece, I would go so far as to say that none of the relationships are worked out in advance. They're all the relationship between these pieces, between where this sits in the frame, is something that that happens not just intuitively, but nearly randomly. And then when I stand back and look at the work, if I don't like how those relationships transpire, I just simply edit it. And the thing is that over time, there's an accretion, there's a building up of this aesthetic data, or this aesthetic. I just keep working on it, keep adding screen printing components, keep adding hand painted components, and don't sweat it in any way, shape, or form. Let the critical voice of judgment fall away, and just simply let the piece develop its own logic and develop it on its own. So in a way, this is a tonic. This is a remedy. It's a way out of the maximalist death spiral. It's still a maximalist aesthetic. It's the opposite of minimalism in a way. It's very complex, I think, but it's completely free and loose. And so it's an escape hatch. It's an escape route out of that death spiral of increasing complexity that hinders both my productivity as well as my creativity. So these videos are also these one a day. This attempt to do one video a day for 30 days is an attempt out of this death spiral that I've created for myself, this maximalist death spiral. I mean, I like the video episode 89. I think it's really great. And Lindsay and I had a fantastic time working on it and shooting it, but faster production, churning through ideas much quicker is something that is super important to me. So hopefully that'll do that. So thanks.